that guy just showed up. He was fighting with one keke driver, and then all of a sudden he just came back, and while I was on the phone, I didn't even notice what was going on. But the next thing I saw, somebody had pulled my legs and I was on the ground. Listen, so basically today's episode is just a general rant. This is Chronicles of a Church Boy, so if you're seeing a video, this is probably my first episode of the video version of it, because I thought I should just record a video podcast. I had a weird experience yesterday. Yesterday was, and I'm not sure the day you'll be listening to this, but yesterday for me was the 18th of October 2021. It was a Tuesday, a lovely Tuesday after all. I mean, I went to work early because now I'm working on a couple of things, like having good work ethic. So I went to work early. I worked till 5 o'clock, and then there's supposed to be like a fuel scarcity happening within this period because of the natural disasters per se in the country. So yeah, basically there's fuel scarcity. So I left the office maybe a couple of minutes before 5 p.m. and this is a pretty lengthy story. So I bought fuel. I got a couple of other things with a friend of mine, and then I started to head towards home. So I get to this particular junction. There's a little bit of traffic, but then I realized that the lane on my left is free. So I wheel out from behind this person, and just when I wheel out into the next lane, in split seconds, there's already an accident. There's a collision between myself and the person who's in front of me, and then his bumper and his lights are shattered and stuff like that. And then next thing, I'm seeing like one other guy who ran after me to tell me that Oga, you don't break my brother lights. You don't break, scatter my brother car. We are come down, gonna park where? I parked well, and here I am being a gentleman. I mean, I wouldn't exactly say it was totally my fault that the accident happened, because had it been, it was my fault, we both would have, felt the impact. I think it's weird when you're on the other side of an accident. It's crazy. I get down from the car, we talk about it, and then the guy says, "Oh, see, I can take care of my bumper, my lights. You need to sort this one out. One thing. How much are you talking about?" He says, "If you give me 30,000, I'm like, bro, I don't have 30,000 to give to you." And then the guy say, "I'm gonna know what you want to do. One thing. Mind you, he's driving a Sienna, and I'm driving like a Lexus ES350. So, here's the worst part of this situation. Nobody would believe anywhere within the state where I live that you don't have cash, especially when you're driving an ES350, Lexus ES350. They're like, dude, you must be joking. You are lying about the money thing, bro." I'm standing there, no cash in hand. We've sorted out ourselves, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, here's what we can do. I don't exactly have cash right now. Can you come to the office tomorrow? I can give you one of my items. You hold on to them. Just come to church tomorrow. Meet me. I'll give you the money. I can raise the money within the night." And then guys chill. He's like, "No, tomorrow, I can't do tomorrow, please." I need my money this night. I said, okay, no problem, that's fine. So we already settled for like 20k out of the 30 because he refused to take 15, he refused to take 10. So we sorted for 20, and I'm like, okay, so I'll give you your 20k. Then I'm trying to call a few people here and there to get some money. I realized two things, but I'll probably explain that at the end of the video. It was really crazy how things went from 0 to 20,000x, and I'm like, Jesus. Because first off, here's what happens. The guy, I'm calling people. The guy is telling me, oh, time has gone, he's late, he's going very far and stuff like that. He's going to Omagwa. Omagwa is like where the airport is, and it's like a gazillion miles away from the main town itself. Apparently he comes from there to sell stuff here. And then I told him, oh, just give me small time, I'm trying to gather the money, don't worry, I'll give it to you, I'm not leaving, I'm here with you. Before long, I realized that, oh my god, this guy is like in close relations with the touts or the Agbero people that are at the junction there. And man, a few of them show up and they're like, senior, wetin do your motor? He said, nah, this my guy, the guy just jammed my motor, scatter my bumper, scatter my headlamp. He said, next thing the other guy is like, maybe we touch him, maybe we'll go give her now auto. If not, we say you did enough, or don't already wipe her for head. And I'm like, oh dear Lord Jesus, I'm not sure what's going on, Lord. After some time, I'm still making a few calls to see if I can get the money and at least borrow money from somebody that I can pay back. And then I realized that I couldn't get some money from all the people I was calling, so I called some seniors in my life, in quotes, if you permit me to say so. He responded while I was talking to him. He was responding already, wanted to know what I needed to deal with the situation as quickly as possible, so I could leave that place. Next thing, this tout one of them just showed up. In fact, I saw a couple of people come to greet him a certain way, which suggested basically that they were in some sort of cult, and he was the lead. That guy just showed up. He was fighting with one keke driver, and then all of a sudden he just came back, and while I was on the phone, I didn't even notice what was going on, but next thing I saw, somebody had pulled my legs and I was on the ground, and then he was on top of me, and then he was dashing me some better slap like this. Eventually the other driver, that's the guy who was familiar with these guys, now said he had been talking to them before, basically trying to ease them off, and then so funny. And then he eventually collected the phone back from the guy and gave to me. So I finished my conversation. He told me, okay, were they beating you? Are they harassing you? And I told him yes. And then he said, okay, give the driver the phone. So I gave the driver the phone, and he spoke with the driver, basically to calm some things down. And then spoke with the driver, and then he gave me the phone back, and then I spoke with him, and then he told me, I'll send you the money now. So you give it to them. As soon as you give it to them, leave that place. My last experience of something like this was probably maybe before I got into year one in the University of Port Harcourt, which was that's like 2010, 2011. So having this kind of experience again, and worse now because I'm driving, and this is like the first accident I am having since I started driving, and I've been driving for a year. I'm usually very careful on the road, always very careful, not trying to be James Bond or anything of the sorts. I just want to get to my destination without any hassle. So this entire experience rattled me, and I go home. I cried for a bit. In fact, while I was driving, I thought about several things. There's, first off, the thought that why do you not have money? Why didn't you have money to sort out this situation like as quickly as possible? Why? I was pissed. I was legit pissed. I was pissed at that. I was pissed at several other things. For instance, I was pissed at the fact that I felt like I didn't have friends who... I was questioning my friend circle, my friendship circle. What kind of people have you been keeping in your circle? Then I was also thankful that I had started to build a relationship around people who were successful in their lives. People who were successful in their lives such that I could learn a couple of things from them. That I had started to build that kind of circle. What I learned basically from this entire situation, obviously, number one, be careful when you're driving. Number two, something one of my seniors, he said, never let anybody have that impression that you can be dealt with. Do everything and anything you can to ensure that when you show up, when they see you, that they can't profile you to be weak. I think that's the best way to explain it. I was really pissed. I barely slept. I was pressured now more about being successful than I have been in the past 6 months or in the past 2 months even. I was pressured now about it because I said to myself, successful people are powerful. I hope I made any sense in this, because all I really wanted to do was just rant. This entire setup was just for me to talk. But why? Why would people be mean? I mean, yeah, so I basically had an accident, because it doesn't even feel comfortable for me to say that I bashed somebody, because there's several ways to look at it. But okay, that was not the story. The story wasn't exactly that I bashed somebody. The story was how or rather, let me put it, the story wasn't exactly how that I bashed somebody. The story was how that I had a car crash or a car accident involving someone else, and then in the process of trying to settle with the guy, I got beaten, as them beats me. Let me just put it this way: how did you deal with this situation when you had your first car crash or an accident involving someone else, whatever? When you knock somebody motor, when you jump person, how you take, arrange yourself, that kind of thing. If you have experiences, I'll be really glad to read stuff in the comment section. All right, until next time, Omo, peace, man, because Omor is all I can really say. I don't think I've ever been that shocked in my life. Like, this pretty much trumps whatever we could have been, or maybe was my worst experience ever. This is like